All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're talking about the two things that really separate the creators who break through from those who just fade away. We're talking killer tactics and an unbreakable will. We're going to break down the psychological hacks that grab attention and the mental game you have to play to survive the grind. Let's do this. You know that feeling, right? You pour every ounce of your energy into something, you work for hours and hours, and what you get back is nothing. Crickets. It is so frustrating, it's demoralizing, and it makes you wonder why you even bother. If that sounds familiar, stick with me. This is for you. You know, every single creator goes through this silent struggle. It's that endless work that happens behind the scenes long before anyone ever sees a finished product. And to really get what I mean, let's follow the story of this young soccer player named Liam. Liam absolutely lived and breathed soccer. But on the field, all that passion just seemed to turn into anxiety. He'd trip, he'd miss easy goals, he'd fail tryouts. Again and again and again. And all he could hear were the whispers from the sidelines, labeling him. For any of us creating things, that's the exact same feeling as pouring your soul into a video that gets 10 views. It's launching something you love to total silence. Okay, so this number, it reveals a pretty brutal truth about attention spans. In the creator world, we get all excited about a 50 or 60% retention rate. But the absolute elite, top-tier content, it holds on to 85% of its audience. This isn't just a stat, it's a battlefield. And the entire fight is won or lost in the very first few seconds. So, how in the world do you win that fight for attention? Well, it's not about luck. It's about psychology. The first 30 seconds of anything you make is a psychological war, and winning means you have to hack directly into your viewer's mind. The most powerful weapon you have is something called the curiosity gap. See, your brain is basically a pattern recognizing machine, and it absolutely hates an open loop. So when you intentionally create a gap between what someone knows and what they desperately want to know, you create this little mental itch that they just have to scratch by keep watching. And look at the difference here, it's night and day. A boring hook just states the obvious, but a curiosity hook, it completely shatters the pattern. Instead of saying something positive and expected, it uses a negative, or it teases a secret. Never start your videos like this immediately makes you think, wait, how am I starting them? Am I making a huge mistake? And boom, that one question is the hook. You're in. So once you've sparked that curiosity, the clock is ticking. You have just seconds to earn their trust. And that is the job of what we call the credibility bridge. Now, this is not about listing your resume or bragging about awards. It's about subtly proving that you are the right person to guide them on this journey. See, trust is built through connection, not just through words. You can use a relatability trigger by just saying, I get it, I've been where you are. Or a trust trigger by showing real proof, like a case study. The transparency trigger is all about showing the messy, behind-the-scenes process. And my favorite, the authenticity trigger, is just about being real, admitting that you've struggled and learned from your own mistakes. Okay, so you've hooked them. You've built that bridge of credibility. Now you need a structure, a framework that actually delivers on the promise you just made. And this is the repeatable blueprint for making compelling content every single time. Think of this 5-step structure as your roadmap to keeping people watching. Right after the hook, you set up the plot. You establish a problem, raise the stakes, and give people a reason to actually care. The body is where you make good on your promise, delivering all that valuable stuff you talked about. Then comes the climax. That's the big aha moment that makes the whole thing worth it. And you finish strong with a call to action, turning someone who's just watching into someone who's ready to act. But here's the real secret. And I mean the real secret. That entire blueprint, it's completely useless without the right mindset. You could have the most perfect script in the world, but if you fall apart after one video fails, you'll never get to use it again. This is where we stop talking about tactics and start talking about tenacity. This is the most important part of the code. Just let that sink in for a second. The legendary Jim Rohn said that when your mind is screaming at you, I'm done, I can't do anymore, when you feel completely gassed, you've only used about 40% of what you're actually capable of. That means there is this massive reserve of strength inside of you that you haven't even touched yet. And this idea, this reframes absolutely everything. Failure is not a stop sign. A challenge isn't some wall you can't get over. They are simply tests. Every single obstacle is just the universe asking you, hey, how bad do you want this? Really? And winners, they know these tests aren't there to break you. They're there to show you what you're really made of. This is the exact mental shift that Liam made. Instead of seeing every failure as proof that he wasn't good enough, he started seeing them as data. Every missed shot was a lesson. Every insult was just fuel for the fire. He realized that quitting wouldn't just mean giving up on his dream. It would mean throwing away every single painful, valuable lesson he had learned. This timeline, this is the anatomy of what success actually looks like. It wasn't some magical overnight change. It was a slow, difficult, grinding process. It was day after day of just showing up, especially on the days he didn't want to. He failed, he learned, he got a little better, and after a full year of that relentless cycle, the boy who always fails became the champion. But his victory wasn't won in that final moment. It was forged in the 364 invisible days of struggle that nobody else saw. So this all brings us to a fundamental choice, because greatness in anything isn't free. It always demands a price. The only question is which price you are willing to pay. You really only have two options. You can pay the price of discipline, which you pay upfront. It's paid in the currency of hard work, of focus, of saying no to things that don't matter. Or you can pay the price of regret. And that's a price you pay for the rest of your life in the currency of what if and wondering what you could have been. And there it is. The choice really couldn't be any clearer. The daily effort of discipline, yeah, it can feel heavy sometimes, but it is nothing, nothing, compared to the crushing, lifelong weight of looking back and knowing you didn't give it everything you had. So, the blueprint is right here in your hands. You have the tactics, and more importantly, you now understand the unbreakable mindset it takes to see this through. The only question left is the one you have to answer for yourself every single day. The work is hard, for sure, but regret is so much harder. The choice is yours.